This is the story of the super force of space explorers. More than me.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? It's Thursday. The week's almost over. Only one more day, and we get to the weekend. I am going to see Star Trek, the motion picture, the director's cut, in 4K this Sunday, and I cannot wait. I've been waiting. A whole bunch of people messaged me and said, have you seen the new Paramount Plus director's cut of Star Trek the Motion Picture? I said, I don't have Paramount Plus. I don't want Paramount Plus. I'm not getting Paramount Plus. Well, when are you going to see it? When it comes out in theaters. Because that is the only way to see a movie like that, is to go to the theater and watch it. I don't want to watch it on Paramount Plus. I don't want to do any of that shit. I understand it's not that great of a movie. The director's cut is a lot better than the average bear. And I've heard they did a lot of work on it. Mansquatch says it's a fantastic presentation. You can see all the details of the shit porn. Yes! 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 I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see it. Absolutely precious. Yes. I can't wait to see. I love the ships in Star Trek. That's been something I've always loved, is the ships in Star Trek and the motion picture ship, the refit. I'm just, yes, absolutely. 100% yes. So 2.5 hours of Trekkie goodness. The Klingon scene, I can't wait for that. Nearsighted Cyclops, good morning. Yes, good morning, nearsighted Cyclops. I cannot wait for the Klingon scene. Yeah, Mark Leonard as the captain, too. Nobody saw that one. Absolutely awesome. Mark Damply Tired. I saw it back in 79 at the theater. Guess the circle is complete. Yes, when I left you, I was but the learner, Mark. Now I am the master. Only a master of evil doth. Yes, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I was watching Hunt for Red October last night. One ping only. Vasily, yes. Sean Connery, yes. Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great one. Gab Stargate, good morning. Psychodorf 9. Now I'm going to have to get the music again. Yeah, Shellback TJC, Kapla. Kapla, my friend. Project Storytime Enterprise Refit is my favorite ship in all of Star Trek. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Mansquatch, Mark Leonard, the guy who played Spock's dad, was the Klingon Force Commander. Yes, he was. Absolutely, he was. Not a lot of people know that. But if you love Star Trek, you probably know that. Because Mark Leonard was the only one to play a Romulan, a Klingon, and a Vulcan. He was the only one out there that played all of them. Release the Loki! Release the Kraken! Yes! Yes, okay. So, good morning, everybody. Pat S., good morning, good morning. Brandon, Looney Tunes fan 2000, hope you were doing well. What's your favorite Looney Tunes, Brandon? Comic Relief Crusader, good morning. Mark, the Infinitely Tired Project Storytime, and Chris Persia round out the wrenches of Ragnarok. Good morning, gentlemen. Asaj Melody, greetings, sir. Dean Krantz, how are you doing, brother? Howdy. Daryl the Derelict, greetings program. How are you? Darth Arlena, good morning. Valhalla, good morning to you. Darth Arlena. Decepticons, Cave of Villains, good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you doing? Pops, what is up, Pops? Good morning, brother. Good morning. Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Keely, Roll Tide. Good morning, my friend. Good morning. Olds Gamer 72 Cutlass. Good morning, Man Squatch. How are you doing, brother? Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having Gun Bunny. Good morning, Gun Bunny. Bunny's got a gun. Hey, Bob, my brother from another mother. Good morning, guys. It is going well. It's going well. Let's get to Amber Turd. Let's get to Amber Turd. So Amber's been released from her contract with DC Comics. At least that's what she says. Whether that is actually true or not, or whether she wanted everybody to feel the feels for her and act like she got canceled too. Well, that's the question. Heard reported this while on the stand. Now, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. A lot has been coming up about perjury. The chances of getting suit filed for perjury charges in a civil suit are like 1 in 10. It can happen. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. It just normally doesn't happen. Usually, when there's a civil suit like this between a man and a wife or a two exes, it's a he said, she said affair. Johnny's legal team can come out and blast her bitch ass for all the shit she said. But at the end of the day, it's their job to make her look like a liar. It's their job to make her look like she isn't telling the truth. So for her to go out there and be like, but DC canceled me, and I don't even know how much of the movie I'm going to be in, and blah, 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 blah. It's not necessarily the truth. So be prepared if they want to keep her around. Now, cutting her out of the movie, is that a smart choice? From what I've heard, it's just the script. So it's not like she filmed a whole bunch of scenes for the movie and they cut them out. What they did was they cut out parts of the script that had her doing more. So she essentially went from having 30, maybe 40 minutes in the movie to having 10 or less. And she even says out of what they shot, she doesn't know how much she's going to be in the movie. So she doesn't even know how much she's going to be in the movie. Loki, didn't she walk off and get slapped with contempt? The judge told her to sit down next to someone, and she walked out of the courtroom. Judge told her, sit down here next to your lawyer, next to your friend, next to whoever. And then she didn't. She just walked out of the courtroom. She was shaken. She was pissed off. She had been obviously tired of being bombarded with questions from a lawyer that wasn't going to take any of her shit. Do I think that Amber Heard deserves to lose her job with Warner Brothers? I think that after what she did to Johnny, I think that after demanding he be canceled, I think that after all the glee she got, not paying the money, she didn't pay the charity. I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you what she said. Give me just a second. So some of you out there might know we gave a little donation to Mary's charity over the course of the winter. Now, here's the deal. This is the deal that we made with Mary. We pledged up to $2,500 before we agreed to pay out. Okay. So we pledged up to $2,500. Now, this was under the condition that Mary raise at least $2,500. So the deal was, if you raise $2,500, Valhalla, Stone Loki Enterprises Incorporated will match you $2,500. Okay. That was our pledge to Mary. When the time came to fulfill our pledge, we fulfilled it. We donated the money. Okay. So I told Mary, well, this is what we're going to do. And this is when we will do it, which was, I think right after the charity ended. I think it was in December, late December, January, whenever it was. As soon as the obligation was done, we donated the money. Okay. So that money was donated. It's done. It's over. As soon as we said we would do it, we did it. She has claimed that she did this, and that in her mind, ladies and gentlemen, in her mind, a pledge and a donation is the same thing. I want to tell you guys something. A pledge and a donation are not the same thing. Plain and simple. Those are facts. What's in her head is fiction. If that tells you anything, it tells you what's going on in her head. She pledged to give that money. And in her mind, that's the same as giving that money. That's not true. That is not a fact. That is her screwed up fiction. I pledged in the middle of last year to give Mary $2,500 for her charity. To pledge it directly to her charity, not give it to Mary, but to pledge it directly to her charity and donate it at the end of the year. A pledge and a donation are not the same thing. That's crazy talk. That is absolutely crazy talk. Good morning, Max Warren Entertainment. We are talking about what Amber Heard pulled out of her ass yesterday. Yeah, she tried to argue those words meant the same thing. They don't. They absolutely do not. Which brought me to doing this today. Because we are going to talk about the possible fact that she's a sociopath. She definitely has bipolar disorder. I believe she's a sociopath. From what she has presented, from the tail of the tape, from the arguments of witnesses to doctors, I do not believe in any way, shape, or form she is right in the head. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, of course she's not. Loki, come on. Of course she's not. But facts matter here. Absolutely. So my take on this is when you create a reality to support what you're saying, that's a totally different animal than lying to someone. Okay? When you're lying, let's say you're standing there and lying, and one of these things, ladies and gentlemen, I know for a fact her counsel is not okay with her talking to the jury. You don't do that. Okay? She is looking away from the person addressing her, and she is addressing the jury and then bringing her head back around. That is something that she came up with, that she said, this is going to be my defining moment. This is going to be my defining performance of all time. No, this is shit acting. You're a shit actor anyway, Amber. You shit the bed. It's what you did. It's what you do. And you're shitting your own case in the courtroom by doing these crazy things that people are like, oh my God, why is she doing that? Oh my God, it's so annoying. Because in her head, it's all justified and it's all to prove she's the one telling the truth. Because in her head, this is what really happened. You see, there are people out there that cannot in any way, shape, or form take responsibility for the shit they did. It's everybody else's fault. Up until recently, I had to work with someone like that. It's everybody else's fault. It's never your fault. It's never something you did. It's never something that you handled wrong. It's everyone else's fault. This person did this. This person did that. This person talked out of turn. This person, this person, this person. I want to know who said this. Instead of just dealing with the shit that you do. You have to point your finger at everyone else and blame them. And in their head, they think they're telling the truth. They think they're going about it the right way. They really do think it's everybody else's fault. Because how can they be to blame for anything? It's everybody out there against them. So it's everybody else's fault. Undead Ramen. Compare her behavior with her own attorney versus Camille. She won't look at her, smacks her gum, rolls her eyes, tilts her head so far back that her eyes are slits, refuses to concentrate. Everyone is lying but Amber. Project Storytime. Depp's lawyers brought in a doctor to prove she has a pathological need for attention and nothing is ever her fault. That doctor has been retained and will be brought back to testify. Sir Perslot. Good morning, Sir Perslot. Loki, you can tell she is a sociopath just by her complete cold and emotionless posture during Johnny's testimony and switching to crybaby and victim mode as soon as it's her turn. She was so pissed at her lawyer for letting Camille object over and over and not getting any testimony in. She is not that entertaining. I like Johnny on the stand. That was entertaining. When he laughed at one of the questions her legal team asked. Buffoons. Hey out there. Hey, everybody out there. How many times have you seen a lawyer object to their own question? I've never seen that. I mean, a lawyer might have seen it once or twice. I've never seen that. I've never seen it in any kind of like law entertainment, in any kind of lawyer video, in anything presented to the public. I've never seen a lawyer object to their own question. If everyone is lying but Amber, then simply say Amber is telling the truth and watch your logical system break down. Only if it were that simple. If only. You remember back in the day in Star Trek when Kirk would trick the AI into exploding? He'd logic it to death and then it'd like short out, time out. And it'd freak out and sparks would start shooting out of it. That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm surprised it hasn't happened on the actual stand, considering how Camille was just blasting her the past couple of days. Amber has also been glaring at Johnny the entire trial because Johnny won't look at her. Johnny will not look at her. He will not look at her in the eye. And they said that the other day. You're never gonna see my eyes again. You will never see my eyes again. And rightly so. After so long, you can't deal with this anymore. Man, Squatch, and you just quoted Transformers the movie. Yes, time out. Yes, You're my new best friend. I love Transformers, the movie. Thank you, Man Squatch. Absolutely. Dig Outlaw. There are days when she mimics JD in clothes and mannerisms, which is a sign of attempted domination or control of another person. She pathologically can't believe someone rejected her. No, she can't. And it's killing her. She is the one who does the moving on, not the guy. And like she said, she loved him. No, she loved what he did for her. That's what she loved. That person like that is not capable of love. There's a big hollow hole in them, and they are not capable of love. They think they are. They want to believe they are. But they're not. There's this big gaping hole where that should be, and it's just gone. Comic Relief Crusader, how do you know that, Loki? Because I've known people like that, and I've known people that act like that, and I know people that treat people like that. Thank God I divorced myself from them. I haven't watched much of the trial, but I know the type. In the end, it will be the world's fault and will constantly play the endless victim for all time. She's old and has 100 cats. It's not the cat's fault. Amber's desperate. She knows she's losing and doesn't know what to do. She is so cold, the temp in the courtroom is minus 20 degrees. She is cold as ice. Yeah, I don't associate that song with her because, yeah, I actually like that song. I hate when people say as a woman, as a blank race, etc. But as a woman watching this trial, it was very interesting. How many times can you blame someone else for the things you do? How many times can you blame others for the mistakes you made? How many times is that going to work? I want to tell you something. It works as long as the people around you don't know you. Because when they get to know you, when they get to know the real you, when you can't hide it anymore, when you can't hide behind your bullshit, when you can't hide behind a skirt, when you can't hide behind a mirror and hide your own reflection, and they see you for who you are, you're screwed. She does not want anyone to see the reflection in the mirror. And that right there, gun bunny. That right there. How do you go about changing? You have to be honest. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with the people around you. You have to be honest. You have to admit that you have a problem and that you need to change. Does that change require medication? It might. I don't know. I can't tell you that. Only doctors could be able to tell you that. Some of them are going to put you on medication regardless. But I tell you one thing that will help. Lots and lots of therapy. Lots and lots of talking out, but you have to be honest. See, that's the thing. You can't lie about this. You can't hide this. You can't act like you're just fine and it's everybody else. That's what she's been doing. You can have therapy until you turn blue in the face. If you're not honest, it doesn't matter. If you're lying to the person, it doesn't matter. Psychodorf 9, the $2 super chat. Sooner or later, reality wins. For most of us, yes, Psychodorf 9. For some of us, no. Can a person change? Can Amber change? Yes, absolutely. She can. Absolutely she can. But she has to want to, ladies and gentlemen. She has to want to, and she has to be honest about the shit she did. This tells me, all of this that I've seen over the past couple of weeks tells me she does not want to be honest with herself. She does not want to be honest with anyone else. And she doesn't want anyone seeing her for who she is. She doesn't want anyone seeing her faults because she can't handle the truth. Isn't that funny? talking about a court case saying you can't handle the truth. Loki, yesterday was my 20th wedding anniversary. Congratulations, Asajj! Also, my 17th divorce anniversary. After watching this trial, I'm super grateful for the latter and not having to go through that. I was married once. And it was a horrible relationship. It was a horrible relationship. There was this need for everything to be perfect for them. There was this need for everything on the outside having to be perfect. Everything had to look perfect. And when I realized that, when I saw that, when I realized it wasn't about two people being happy, it was about the appearance of that, you kind of lose all faith in the idea of it. So I'm right there with you, Asajj. I'm right there with you. I totally see where you're coming from. So, what is Maria? OMG, no, Chris, seriously, what? Did I miss something? Isn't she already in a new relationship? I think so. She dated Elon. She dated somebody else. After Elon, she's dated, I saw that one chick she dated. I was like, damn. Wow, kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel on that one, aren't you, Amber? Oh, but you don't understand. But you physically assaulted her too. So, yeah. With a chick, I think. It's been there, done that. So I was looking at this. Pirates of the Caribbean confirms, Jerry Bruckheimer confirms Johnny Depp is out. And Margaret Robbie is the new, going to be Jack Sparrow's sister or whatever. She's the new Jack Sparrow. And she has come out and stated that that she was looking at ways to spice up the character and bring her into the 21st century, and that she wants her character in Pirates of the Caribbean to be a lesbian. So Margaret Robbie wants her character in Pirates to be a lesbian, and that'll bring pirates into the 21st century. And I also find it fascinating that almost all of Amber's witnesses didn't come in person. Most are video. Most of Johnny's came in person to support him. It's the California. Yeah, it's the whole California thing. They're going to use that excuse. They are sitting there with lawyers. You notice that one that used to be her best friend that doesn't have anything to do with her anymore. She was sitting at a table at a law firm, surrounded by lawyers that were pretty much feeding her answers. So, okay. I agree, Dean. Absolutely agree. Yes. Harley Quinn in hot pants from Hot Topic. I wonder how Elon got rid of Amber. He noticed early exactly what she was doing and ditched her. I want to tell you guys something. When you've been in a relationship, bad one, where some of this shit happened, you don't ever want to be in a relationship like that again. And when a woman is treating you like shit, they will try and use that. They will try and use that shit. And then they'll be like, I'm not this person. No, but you're treating me like this person. No, I'm not. I would never do that, but they are. They are, and you know they are. So are you going to be a dumbass? Are you going to be a simp and be like, okay, no, you're not? Or are you going to recognize what the fuck's going on and say, I don't want any part of this? You're going to recognize what's going on and you don't want any part of it. Now that can go down multiple ways. There's two ways I have experienced personally. Number one is the fighting, arguing, drama bullshit that Johnny went through. Okay. Physical violence, people slamming on doors, fighting. He can't get a moment's rest. He can't even like go in another room and chill for 5 minutes. I've been there, done that, bought a t-shirt. There's another deal with feel sorry for me. Constantly feel sorry for me. Constantly see me as the victim. Constantly see me as someone who needs you to rescue them. Constantly see someone make you see me as a weak, fragile person that you have to constantly carry. That's a totally different mindfuck than what Amber Heard did to Johnny Depp. That is a totally different situation where it's like the person constantly needs you to rescue them. And Mexican Iron Man with $4.99 super chat. Objection! Point of personal Mexican taco privilege. Saying that as I look back at chat and then look back at Loki. Yes. I'm going to get shirts printed up that say I'm objecting to my own question. I really am. I'm really considering that. With one of the dragons on the back. I'm objecting to my own question. Wouldn't that be nice? TM. Sure. Whatever. Amber turned Johnny as a cuckold. Played on his history of abuse as a kid. And he stayed way too long in that relationship. He lost a damn finger and still tried to save the marriage. Yes. And thank you, Mexican Iron Man, for that $5 super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. And this one is just for you in Psychodorf 9. Skull!
Spartans! What is your profession?
And sometimes it's hard. Soul Assassin says, I have a friend who was in a bad relationship when he was in the army. Chick was nice, then got ugly fast. Lucky he was smart to end it when she retired and he stayed in. I bet she wanted him to leave with her too. It's really difficult, especially when other people don't see it. When there are people in your life that don't see it, they don't recognize it for what it is. And they're like, oh my God, she's the nicest, sweetest, yada, yada. I'm like, well, you don't see what it's like. What I ended up having to do was record it. She really didn't like that shit. I learned towards the end, that if I pulled my phone out and recorded her, she'd stop. I would be getting ready for a show in the morning. This was very early when I first started doing this. I would be getting ready to a show in the morning, and it would be one giant argument all the way up till like 2 seconds before I'd go live. Right before I'd go live, it would stop. Eventually, I learned that if I pulled my phone out and I recorded it, it'd stop her really quick. Because she knew she didn't want to be recorded, saying the things she was saying, acting the way she was acting, because she'd get caught. Undead Ramen, Loki, yes, my ex would stop also, or I'd pull my phone out and pretend I was in a call with the cable company and he'd be totally silent. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? And once you go through that, once you see it, once you experience it, you're never going to let it happen again. Amber Heard can say things, but she'd jump right into a relationship like that again at a moment's notice. Because she's crazy. It's all about her. It's all about her doing what she's doing. It's never about what happens to other people. There are no consequences for her. There are no life-changing outcomes. It's just her. And after this is all over, no matter what happens, no matter who wins, no matter who they believe, Amber's going to be a victim. Amber's going to be the victim that this court case was against. Amber's going to be the victim that was up on the stand and had to recount how she was, done with a broken bottle, but she never had to go to the emergency room in the hospital or anything. She never had to deal with any of that. Amber's going to be the one that had to talk about that and how it broke her, how it defined her, because that's how she survives. That's how she lives day to day. That is how she adapts to all of this. Is she's a victim. And she will always be a victim. So, Psychodorf 9, Loki, I moved states and spent 1 year under the poverty line to lose a druggy ex. I believe it. It's hard to disassociate yourself sometimes. But once you do, once you get out from under that, and once you give that Mel Gibson freedom cry, you realize how much better off you are. You realize how much of a better position you're in. I honestly believe that that's Johnny. He's like, I'll never do this again. I'll never be in this type of situation again. DP for my bunghole. Also notice how the monster she testified to being Johnny. Then during Cross, the monster was Johnny's drug abuse. Truth changes to fit whatever she needs. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about changing the narrative to suit your needs. It's always something. I was completely loyal to this person, and now they won't have anything to do with me. How many times has this happened to you as a person? How many times multiple times. That ought to tell you something. I did everything for this person, and this is how I was treated. How many times has that happened to you? Huh. And you just keep letting it happen to you? That ought to tell you something. Oh, but I gave this person everything, and I devoted every moment of my waking being. How many times has this happened to you? And you keep letting it happen to you? Huh. No. Chris, no. You have to grow up, and you have to go out in the world, and you have to realize that you have to be responsible for the shit you do and the shit you pull. There are things you have to live with. You can either admit that, or you can continue to live in a bubble reality where everything is about you. I've dated all kinds of women. Some of them lived in that little bubble world where everything is the way it is because they're perfect and nothing can be wrong. I've lived in healthy relationships. I've been in horrible relationships. I've seen plenty of people stand up and take responsibility for the shit they've done. And then I've seen people excuse it away and blame everybody else. Everyone has the ability to man up and admit their faults. Every single one of us has that ability. It's all in how you deal with it. And she's never going to deal with it It's her responsibility to be a good human being or a bad human being. It's not anybody else's fault. I can sit here and I can say, well, I didn't have any kind of a normal teenage life because I was done this way or this happened to me. I could sit here and I could say that. I could. Honestly, I could. I had to do something about it. So it's my job to do something about it. I can't blame my parents or anyone else for not doing something about it when I could. So, do you try and better yourself as a human being? Do you try and better your situation? Do you try and make sure none of this shit ever happens again? Well, if your answer is no, that's on you. It's not on anybody else. It's not on what happened to your parents. It's not on what happened to you when you were a kid. It's your job to straighten yourself out and fly right. I could easily give the excuse that, oh, well, I had a hard time for a while because my parents did this. I could have a hard time for a while because my mom wanted to put all her bullshit on me. I could make those excuses. I could say that. And you know what? In a way, I'd probably be right. I have reason. I have rhyme and reason to say the things I said. But you know what? I'm not going to, because I'm not going to put it on them. Because at the end of the day, I'm responsible for the shit I do. Adega Outlaw, if she is given an inch of an excuse or belief that she is a victim, the psychosis will continue. She cannot be given an excuse like it was her parents' fault. I love what Daryl has to say here. Crazy ex-partners are like, Con, I've hurt you, and I wish to go on hurting you. Yes! Daryl the Derelict. Fucking great quote. Great movie quote. I can't wait to see a 4K director's edition of Wrath of Khan in the theater. I want to see a 4K edition of Wrath of Khan in the theater. At some point, you need to break the chains of the past to make a better future. It's absolutely right. That is absolutely, positively fucking right. Breaking the chains. Breaking the chains of the past to make a better future. I had a friend. I had a friend growing up whose dad would beat him with a bare electrical cord. He'd fray the end of the electrical cord, and he would beat him with this electrical cord. And it absolutely, positively, when I found out about this, I was so pissed off. And his dad was a junkie. His dad was an addict. And one day, years later, I am over at his house, and he has had a son. He's had a little boy. And we're sitting there and we're playing a video game, hanging out. And he turns around and he punches his 4-year-old in the stomach. Hard. And I said, what the fuck did you do that for? And he said, oh, it makes the little kid tough. And I said, you used to hate your dad for doing shit like that. I put down the remote and I went outside and had a cigarette. And he came out and he was like, dude, this is fucked up. And I said, it's fucked up what I just watched. I said, I understand he's your boy, but damn, dude. You used to hate your dad for doing the shit like that to you. You used to hate your dad and talk about how one day you were going to beat the holy hell out of him. And you did. You did, for him acting like an ass. One day, his dad came in, piss-ass drunk, acting like he owned the place, and my brother beat the holy hell out of him. And I was like, it's about damn time. It's about damn time. And I thought that was the end of it. And I had this conversation with him. The exact same one I'm having with y'all now about breaking a chain. And he didn't listen. He continued to get screwed up. He went down the same road his dad went down, and history repeats itself. Because more often than not, history will repeat itself, especially with people that have had to go through the shit like that, especially people that have had to deal with shit like that. History repeats itself. Do you want to know why? Because no one is willing to admit the truth and talk about it. Just like Amber. Just like this. It can't be her fault. So guess what? History repeats itself. When you're dealing with someone that is in this mode, that it's everybody else's fault but theirs, 9 times out of 10, this happened before and it'll happen again. Kind of like with Battlestar Galactica. It's all happened before, all happen again. History will repeat itself, yada, yada, yada. Why? Because they refuse to admit they have a problem. They refuse to admit they have a mistake. And as long as they refuse to admit there's a problem and they made a mistake, they will continue to repeat the same cycle over and over and over again. Because as long as you lie, as long as you deflect, as long as you do all this shit, you're never going to learn your lesson. Amber Heard has not learned anything from any of this. Amber Heard is not becoming a better human being. She's reinforcing the behavior she had from the very beginning with Johnny. Because she's lying about it. And she's lying to everybody about it. And she's making this shit up. You can't make shit like this up. But she's making shit like this up. So this is the kind of thing that happens that you've got to learn from. You've got to admit. The problem here, ladies and gentlemen, the big problem is the press is on her side. And just now, people are starting to get ballsy enough to talk about it. People are starting to get ballsy enough to talk about it. People are starting to get confident into what Chris Rock did the other day. Oh man, believe all women except Amber Heard. They're starting to get it. But the press doesn't want you to get it. The media does not want you to get it because they're completely stand behind all women, believe all women, yada, 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 yada. You can't talk bad about a woman. You can't call a woman a liar. They're deep in Hollywood's pocket. They're deep in Hollywood's pocket. And they're going to do whatever Hollywood asks them to do because they want access. They want to be the only ones that have access too. They don't want us independents getting information. They don't want us getting backstage passes. They hate us. I want to tell you something. There's a war going on right now. The war is media versus the little guys, the independents, the people out there fighting in the trenches. Because the media doesn't want to fight in the trenches anymore. The media doesn't want to be in the trenches, snapping photographs, getting the real story. They want to sit back and they want to be fed the story. It's a lot easier. Feed us. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me now. They want to sit back and get fed. They don't want to have to do the work. While people like us, we're out there doing the work. We're on the ground floor, busting our asses, doing everything we can to make it. They don't have to worry about that because they're getting fed. But that means they sold out. They sold out. We don't sell out. We don't prop ourselves up. We don't cheat the system. We don't get paid to say what someone else wants. And if you do, well, think about what you're doing. Think about who you're selling out to. Ricky Gervais started the reversal when he called out Hollywood hypocrisy. Then we started looking and the flaws became glaring. Cancel culture and spoiled celebs days are numbered. We will remember. Here is the thing that I'm worried about, Dean. This is what I'm worried about. I see a lot of change on how people are looking at Star Wars. Why don't you all shut up and stop thinking it's going to be bad? You don't even know it yet. It's going to be great. This is going to be great. You haven't seen it yet, so stop saying it's going to be bad. If you haven't seen it yet either, how the hell are you saying it's good? Stop talking bad about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It's great. It's been great. It's been wonderful. 3 episodes of ooh la la, I love it. Stop talking bad about it. There are plenty of people that won't remember. There are plenty of people that won't care. There are plenty of people that go out and see it anyway. No matter how bad Marvel is now, people will go out and hit that first weekend. They'll ring that bell because it's a tradition now. It's something that they've done for 15 years. It's something they're going to keep doing, no matter how bad it gets. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how bad it is, they're still going to go out and they're still going to do it. Maybe eventually they'll get to the point where they're like, you know what, all this shit, it's the same shit and it's hate men and yada, yada, yada. Maybe. But there's a whole different fight, ladies and gentlemen, ahead of us. And that is, people don't want to remember. They don't want to look at the bad times. They don't want to remember that it's fucking horrible. They don't want to remember what Star Wars did. They're not going to want to remember what Kathleen Kennedy did. It's all going to be better once they get rid of KK, right? That's what we've heard for 3 years. Everything's going to be better once we get rid of KK. KK is not the issue. It's Disney. Disney as a whole is the problem. All the bullshit that's there. The lifestyle choices, the decisions they make. And Disney's dealing with that right now because they've had to come out into the light and say, yes, we are all about this. This is what we are about now. And they're having to deal with it. How long that will last, how much people remember, it's up to you guys. That's up to you guys. I have a sneaking suspicion that because of the way they're talking in the media right now, a lot of us are going to get shut down. This is not me being poo-poo. This is not me being oh no. I honestly believe with everything I've heard in the last 72 hours that they are coming for each and every one of us. Because we speak our minds, we don't hold back, and we tell it like it is. And they're putting that under extremist right wing. They're putting that under Ist and Ob and Yahtzee, and they're saying you can't have an opinion that's different from ours. This is why I started talking in the first place. They will not silence me. But ladies and gentlemen, I am deathly afraid this is what is going to happen. They're going to silence us. They're going to silence us and they're going to put a stamp on it that said Ist Ob and Yahtzee when it was never about that. All we want is good entertainment. That's it. And they're going to say that we were rallying people for this, or we were inspiring people to go out and do this, or whatever. Just to get rid of us. Because they do not like us. And they do not want us talking. They do not want us spreading a message of unity, friendship, and family. If any of you out there listening are all about unity, friendship, and family, make sure you are signed up. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you ring that bell. We are 1 subscriber away from 1,700. We're going to be at 2,000 in no time. We're coming for all of you. We're kicking ass. We're taking names. We stand up for our rights. We stand up for freedom of speech, and we don't hold back. If you love that, if you love being able to come up and speak your mind and say what you're feeling about a freaking television show, about any of it, make sure you're subscribed. Ring that bell. And thank you so very much for all the support. Everyone out there, thank you. Everyone out there in chat today, everyone out there that's been a member, everyone out there listening to this after the fact, thank you. Guys, we'll be back later tonight with the Dega Outlaw for 7 Kinds of Mischief. Until then, be great. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. And here you go. Thank you so very much, guys. This one's just for you. And we're at 1,700 fucking subscribers. Thank you.
Notification bell.
For everybody that waited for the credits to roll, thank you. Thank you so very much. There's times that I didn't know if this is what I should be doing or not. And you guys prove to me every single day that it is. Lady Mist just yesterday said something in a message on Taco Tuesday that really meant a lot to me. Every single thing you guys do means so very much to me. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for backing me up. Thank you for standing with me. Thank you for being there. I could say support, but that's so like shallow to say support. Having my back and being here. Thank you guys. Have a great one. Have a great one. We'll see you later tonight with the Dega and see all of you guys tomorrow morning for the weekend review with Dave Bob. And hopefully Starry Eyed Girl will be there. See you guys tomorrow.